to you by those naps that make you wake up and you're not exactly sure even what city or year you're in. Also brought to you by afternoon showers. That is a more frequent occurrence in all of our lives than I think any of us ever would have guessed it would be. Month 6. And now here's a song. Tell me something good. Tell me that you love me. And now here they are, your invenerable hosts, Carlos, Kareem, Wyndham. Hey, everybody. Once again, I forgot to let my guests know that they cannot hear any of the sound effects. So once again, I look like a lunatic, which is great for everybody. It is 4:20. I have obligations to you. I don't know what I'm doing. I apologize. And that DJ air horn is how we know we are really, really here. I am really glad to be back with you because, quite honestly, aside from this and the occasional client meeting, I don't know how to tell time anymore. Let's see. One thing about time is that tomorrow, no, not tomorrow at all, Labor Day, I'm going to be here with comedian Risa Reese. And she's a veteran of those microphones. And so we're going to talk about what it is like for her to have been through all of this COVIDs. She is also a community organizer. We'll talk about what she's been doing for the community because she's always doing for the community and how we are surviving or not as creators, whatever it is that you're doing these days. And then Tuesday, I will be talking with DJ Tres Manos. DJ Tres Manos is a globally recognized house and I don't know what kind of music y'all children call it, the kind of music DJ. He is my friend, which is why I'm allowed to say that. You're not, so don't say it if that's not you. EDM, I know words. I make words from my mouth hole for a living. I know words about DJs and shit. I'm going to talk to a DJ in a minute. I know words. I had a DJ. You don't know me. I had a DJ once. Shit. Do you have a hot bevy? Does everybody have a warm bevy? A bevy? Doesn't have to be warm, I guess. Fall is coming. That is horrific. Seems as though we've missed 2 seasons being inside. Those of us who are inside, and a word and a shout out because evidently the people who had earlier grown neck gills and for whom it seemed to make sense for them to be wearing their masks around their necks and around their chins, I guess they got a COVID cure because these motherfuckers were out here today with no masks at all. I was on a 3-mile jog as I do. As ever, waterboarding myself and wondering why, what are white people immune? Do you think you're immune? How come there are no masks on your face hole? Do you think that the COVID isn't out in the morning? Is that, because it is, COVID's out all day. COVID's like Santa Claus. Except real, and we'll come down your chimney, and we'll bring you a present. You don't want it. I don't want it. Keep your ass covered. I'm playing with my ear thing. I got to get it right, because I don't want to be looking like I'm digging my ear once we have our guest. So I did get my little miles in. It was cute. I'm trying to do the thing and use all of the tools at my disposal to survive. And get through all of this, including, as I've mentioned many times, spending this time with you. This helps me greatly, as has been said to me several times by Tracy, and again recently by Janicia when we had our conversation under the tree a few days ago, that you are not my pretend friends at all. You are my friends. There's no such thing as pretend friends in internet world anymore. This is what we are. and we are a community in building it. And it makes a difference to me. My therapist also was talking about what do you need to feed yourself, to not just output. What do you need to input to get better? And so she said that, and so then I got done, and I took a very big bong hit and took a nap and did that until I got here with y'all. Cause I took a shower. I did take that afternoon shower, of which I spake because I don't know how to write jokes. I just say the things that happened, and this is just how I talk. So that's how that goes. Well, today I'm going to be talking about some of these things and more with our guest under the philosopher's tree. This is somebody who I have had the privilege of knowing for a very short time, but I had the privilege of meeting when I was trapped in what at first felt a little bit like a nightmare for me. I ended up in a party bus, and I was happy to be in a party bus. I am not, believe it or not, one who has been on a lot of these. So I didn't know what to expect. And it was a lot of lights, a lot of neon and such. And there was a point at which the person whose party bus it was looked over toward the guest who's going to be joining us and said, "Ain't you supposed to be some kind of DJ or something?" And the next thing I knew, I was shaking my ass upon a party bus for the next several hours to the types of music that you can't say those words. My Lord. And I meant it. No, I'm not going to say it now. That would be gross. But I meant it that night, my Lord. And there are a few people who have this kind of power. I've met a few DJs that made me turn my head around and go, who the fuck is this? And this is one. And so I would like to present to you my friend, Carmen Berkley, a.k.a. DJ Carmen Spindiego. Please welcome under the tree, Carmen Spindiego.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I am so good. That's the best introduction I've ever gotten. And I'm
Is
so
it?
excited that you enjoyed Nuck If You Buck. Hell yeah. Hell
Ooh,
yeah.
true stories. It was from Nuck If You Buck. It was other songs that I can't say I can say the titles of. I
Yeah, it was
oughtn't
a
say
little
the titles
nasty. It's
of.
okay.
I oughtn't say the titles of. It was lovely. It was lovely. It
Thank
was
you.
lovely.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. How long have you been DJing?
I have been DJing for 3 years and I've been doing radio things, I think 5. So I've
Okay.
actually, all my DJ equipment is behind me.
All
I'm an
right.
at-home DJ now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, 5. Are you are out in community? You said radio things. What you been doing? What's some radio things? Talk to me about that.
So I'm on a local radio station in DC that's called WPFW, and they focus on politics, power, extra progressive, love it, love it, love it. And I do that with a bunch of women because I
Nice.
can't be doing it every week. I got my day job. And then the DJing, though, honestly, I always wanted to be a DJ. I was always the person that tried to take the Spotify list or the iTunes list at the cookout.
Yeah.
And so I had some extra time, and DJ Six Sense, who's right here in Washington, D.C., I reached out to him and I was like, oh, you're not going to teach me how to do it. And I reached out to him and he said, of course I'll be an instructor. So I've basically been cutting up ever since. I have been cutting up. I am not a regular DJ. I do not do baby showers. I don't do weddings. I do, ignorant parties on a bus, stuff like that.
Right. Well, it's you have the skill. Let me tell you something. You have the skill. You got me up. You got me up. The only other DJ that really had that. Well, there are a couple. I gotta give props where props are due.
Yep. Yep.
Local 1200 crew in Oakland. Really, the whole crew. held it down very deeply and held it down very deeply with politics as well. But it was bumping into at the time Wonderkind DJ Treat You Nice, who
Yes.
15 years old when I met him, and I think 17 when I put him in my band.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, yeah. No, he was that good. I was like, listen, what you doing? What you
Yeah, because they've
doing?
got the energy. When somebody has that energy, you got to bring it to you.
Oh yeah, no, it was a whole Run DMC experience for real. Like we was like, oh, how you dressed for the like that? That's cute.
It's a vibe. Oh, I love it. I love the
Yeah,
musicians, because it's the light. It's the
yeah.
light that everyone needs. If you're depressed and somebody puts on your jam, that's why D Nice did such a good job over the coronavirus because that was the light that people needed at that time.
That week DJ saved my life. Let me tell you something. That
Yeah, oh
week.
yeah.
Wow. So you've
Oh
been
yeah.
doing the radio for how long now?
I've been doing it about 5 years, WPFW. Honestly, I feel like I was born into radio because my dad, David Berkley, he actually had a radio show when he was my age in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he
Okay.
always had talked about it, but it wasn't until I got older did I realize that I've kind of fallen into his footsteps, just loving. I can communicate things to people, so why not do it for purpose? And then
Hmm.
also play a little bit of ratchet music on the side. Although WPFW, they don't play ratchet music; they play jazz and justice. They play things from local artists. But you know me, I like a little, I like a little bit of on the side.
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, no, I mean it was almost the lyrics to WAP was almost what happened when we began. I can't like I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't. I saw the video. I was like, I don't really get it, and because I saw that little PG video, and so I was like, I don't
Oh
understand
no, no.
I guess, and then I heard the song, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
this is what it is. Here you go. I know.
oh,
Flag up.
that
Mhm.
sounds lovely. Hold up, let me just,
Let me just
yeah, yeah, for a
that type
second.
of music, all that whole just type of music, and I take it back to Two Live Crew. I
You
just think
sure
about,
did.
yeah, you got to think about people that folks label as nasty, but that is Adina Howard. People, oh, that's nasty, freak like me. When you play freak like me, people are freak like me because a lot of people are freaks, so it's
Listen,
okay. They love that music.
listen. I Two Live Crew was ahead of the curve in terms of eating ass, and I'm just gonna be. Let's be clear about it.
Ahead of the game. Ahead
Let's
of
be
the
clear.
game.
These brothers was out here with T-shirts talking about I eat
Yeah.
much ass.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is what it is. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until some little white girl started talking about it on TV that all of a sudden people was paying
Oh,
attention.
yeah. And then Freaknik. Okay, so you've got Two Live Crew, a Freaknik, a Trina. Actually,
Mm,
all of Miami is like that. I feel like everybody else is really trying to just they're pretending like they're not like that, but then
right.
a WAP comes out, and all of a sudden everybody is pee popping
Yeah.
on a handstand. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, and this, I mean, and it goes back, right? Like it's not this ain't some new experience in black music. This ain't some new experience for us.
Oh no. Every couple years we have a real banger. I feel like the last iteration of this was like Anaconda with Nicki Minaj.
Mm,
We could probably even put little markers when women specifically were like,
yep,
I'm taking off my panties and my
yep.
bra.
All the way back to I need some sugar for my bowl. All the way back.
Oh
I
yeah. Oh
mean,
yeah. Oh yes.
this is
Oh
so
yes.
not new. You know, this is so
Mhm.
not new. Well, wow.
Mhm.
That's so for 5 years you've been doing that, and
Yeah.
in terms of bringing the politic to the table, what
Mhm.
what does what does the politic mean for you? What does that look like? Are y'all where are you taking it?
Yeah. To me, having a platform to be able to educate our people, I want to do that every single day of my life
Yeah.
because when I watch the news, I don't see myself. I don't see,
Mm,
I mean, obviously, I work in DC, so I know a lot about politics, but when I think about my friends and my family, when I call them, sometimes they talk about politics, but they're generally talking about WAP or something else. And so I wanted to do politics in a way that brought people in, they could understand it, we could laugh about it. And I also like to ask people questions that are both relevant to politics and relevant to culture. So like in DC, we got mumbo sauce. And a little ketchup, a little barbecue sauce, a little hot sauce, all together,
Yeah.
a little corn syrup. And so the mayor of DC, a black woman, she says, "Oh, I don't know what mumbo sauce is." And we were like, "Sis, yes, you do." So I asked the audience, like, how y'all feel about the mayor not knowing about mumbo sauce? And when I tell you the boards lit up,
Oh my
to me,
Lord.
that is how you bring people into the culture. You got to do both. That's why Kamala Harris's ass was on the Versus last night with Monica and Brandy, because if you can bring the fun and the information together, it'll click for people. And black people are very smart too, so it doesn't take that long for us to understand what's happening.
Yeah. Well, we already got there, so fuck it. We'll talk about that thing, and then we'll just talkity talk. So, you were part of a circumstance that ended up being a bit of a global circumstance, dare I say, and you dealt with that quite well, and it was actually the first time that I became familiar with Kamala Harris as the candidate. Okay. Now I'm gonna stipulate some things when we began talking about Kamala. Now, as we began talking about Kamala, first of all, I am Oakland to my bones from the '90s. And when I say that, when I had moved to West Oakland, it was not cute. And I had moved deliberately to West Oakland for the purpose of living where it was not cute. Not because it wasn't cute, because it was like, look, I want to live where there's some folks. It's either going to be Brooklyn or
Right.
Oakland. And on whim, I was like, okay, so on Spirit, ended up being
Right.
Oakland. So I'm quite familiar with the work as a prosecutor. I am also quite familiar with the work that she did around reform around prosecution because of that, because of the community that I was fortunate enough to be a part of. So the very, very rich and complicated history that is hers,
Yep.
I am aware of. And so I'm going to say that.
Yep.
This is the first time I became familiar with her as candidate. Now, I say all that to say this. While we are having this, and this is just you and me talking. Ain't nobody paying no
Of
fucking attention to
course.
this shit.
Of course.
If anybody were maybe dropping an Eve, this Eve,
Yeah.
and that person were perhaps melanin challenged and or deficient,
Yeah.
and or in a meat puppet that is reflective of that mine is perceived to be. That being male presenting folk, in particular the cis ones. This part where y'all start chiming in and your Bernie bros and your shit with the shit about she's a cop,
Oh yeah.
shut, go
Yeah, get
someplace with
out.
that.
It's not
We
that
don't need
song
that
though.
right now.
Yeah, not
This
that.
ain't that.
Yeah.
La 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 la. You don't got the
Yeah, it's
range.
fine.
We're not doing that.
Yeah,
So,
it's
but
fine.
you were involved with something that
Yeah.
was one of the first times that I became familiar with her as a candidate and became awfully impressed with her. Then duly impressed with you when I realized that was you involved as well. Could you tell us and share with us what had happened that
Yeah.
day? And why
What
the fuck was
happened?
you there even too?
Well, let me take it back. I'm gonna take it back.
Please do take
So,
it back.
my original bae, is and was Elizabeth Warren, and I loved Elizabeth Warren because I believe in what she talks about in terms of our ability as all people, specifically Black people, to have economic prosperity.
Okay,
And
so let me
so
ask you this.
my
You saw Warren live someplace, yes? And that's where
yes, I
that you
did.
locked
Yes,
in?
I did. Okay, yep. So what happened is, so I work in politics. So I am not impressed easily.
Oh yeah.
So I am not impressed easily by politicians. So there were two events. I'm gonna tell you these two events.
Okay.
The first event that I went to, I was DJing at a Move On. No. I was DJing at like a Planned Parenthood labor event in DC. And
Okay.
I was there as a DJ, not as a politico. And I listened to all of the stump speeches. I've heard Elizabeth Warren a million times, but there was something that she said where she was talking about her story that I really resonated with. And I said, this white woman got me.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got invited separately, maybe 2 weeks later, to another MoveOn.org event in Oakland. And Kamala Harris is up on stage. And so he's speaking. And of course, I mean, that's a Black woman. So even with her history, I'm always going to be proud of Kamala Harris.
Let's go.
We're on stage. I'm minding my own business, y'all. I can't even tell no lie. I'm minding my own business. And this white boy with a ponytail jumps up on the stage. So, who's like now chief of staff for Kamala Harris and MSNBC and at Move On. She's a hero, okay? She jumps in front of the white man and she's like saving Kamala Harris in case he has a gun. Really, he was talking about earth science or animals or something else like that. I can't act like I'm a real
Hold on, wait. Animals or something like that. So let's just get, okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
the white man with the ponytail.
Yes.
Saw this Black woman talking and didn't wanna jump up and even talk about her record, nothing. He wanna talk about cows are for calves.
She was talking about women's equal pay. It was her big idea. Everybody had to have a big idea. So her big idea is that she would basically tax companies that did not equally pay all genders. Okay, mm-hmm. She had a radical, which should not be radical, but radical. He jumps and the stage was high. This wasn't just a step up. Okay, he jumped up on the stage, and the day before there was a shooting in Virginia. So we're all like, to go. We have to protect the animals, and it's not that I don't care about the animals.
But listen, is this the time for Joaquin Phoenix Oscar speech? Is this really what it is?
So look, Corinne is a hero. She jumps in front of her and tries to save her. Her husband, God bless his soul, I had never seen him before. He was Batman. He comes from the back, and I could see the audience freaking out, right? Yeah. So I had on two headphones. I had on my headphones, had on the PA headphones, and we had already practiced. If something bad happens, you to calm the audience. So I grabbed the microphone and, I calmed the audience down, and it ended up going viral. It was all on the news because obviously this person disrespected Kamala Harris. But in that moment, that made me respect her as a leader because she could have acted up. She could have knucked if you bucked. She could have cussed his ass out. She did not do any of the above. And so even though through the primary, I felt very close to Elizabeth Warren because of her politics, when Kamala became the VP nominee, I was like, all right, sis, go for it. Because one, I know that you stood up against somebody. I would have been screaming, running if I were her. That wasn't her. But I also feel like, and maybe this is just my serendipitous Black woman ways, we all have stuff in our past that we're not so proud of. And what I have heard her talk about over time, and it's why I respect her, is there were things that I've done in my past and I'm not so proud of, but I do want to figure out a way forward. And what I know for sure is that what's currently happening in politics, not going to get anybody free. Black, white, Asian, Latinx, nada.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that was amazing, right? The thing about it for me was seeing all of these, watching all of these Black women basically just grab up on this man like, you know what? Listen, son, not today. That is not what is happening. That is not what is happening here.
And we don't care what you think. Not today.
Yeah. No. And the calm that you brought to it was, you couldn't have convinced, and that's the other part of it. You couldn't have convinced me you wasn't a veteran. There was no way. Now, clearly, your oratory skills go back. Clearly, the radio and the work that you've been doing in politics all showed up all at once. and that is not the first sort of thing you've hosted. So what brought you into politics? What brought you into this
Yeah.
game? What brought you into any of this at
Mm.
all? Why do you give a shit? And
Yeah.
you ain't just out there being nasty and nasty DJ.
Although I so enjoy being a nasty DJ. I so enjoy it. Honestly, I grew up with the activists, but we didn't have a word for it. Like I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
and it's very segregated. It's a nice town. I loved growing up there, but it's segregated.
Mm-hmm.
And both of my parents separately love Black people, and we always did Black people stuff, and we grew up culturally Black. And my mother took us to the rally, and my dad is very intelligent and has a lot of Black political thought, and so does my mom. And she used to run campaigns. So I
Mm-hmm.
think growing up, I was a part of it. I just didn't have the words. But what propelled me was when I went into college, I wanted to be in communications. I wanted to work at PBS. So I worked at PBS. I was an intern at PBS, and I worked on the news. And that was when I first realized that I
Who
could
was still
control.
on the news when you were there? Who was still there?
Oh man, so Chris Moore was working with, I don't know a big name, but it was his show in
Okay.
Pittsburgh. Chris Moore, who was also growing up my next door neighbor, but I didn't know that he worked at PBS. And
Okay.
that's Mr. Rogers' PBS, that Pittsburgh one. So
Yeah,
when you
that's
walk
the
in,
that's big deal PBS.
yeah, you see all this cool stuff. So I realized at a very young age that I could control your thought
Hmm.
through politics and news. That what gets presented to you on the news is by the producer, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to control what people heard and how they receive their information, because I know that my community, I always knew we weren't getting accurate information. So anyway, long story short, I'm working at PBS, and I slowly start to get more involved in politics in Pittsburgh as I'm in college. And I can say this on your show. I'm so excited. So I'm getting more involved. I end up in the vagina monologues, and I do the monologue cunt. And so this
Literally the
guy
first
comes
part
up
of the
to me.
sentence that I heard. So I ended up in the vagina. What are we doing? What's happening right
I
now?
wasn't telling. I did the monologue cunt.
Okay.
And this student government member comes up to me, Delinus Harris, who's still my friend, and he goes, I don't know you, and I know we're not friends, but I want you to come with me to Washington, D.C. to this conference, obviously pre-coronavirus. And it was for the United States Student Association. And they
Hmm.
taught me politics. They taught me about higher ed. They taught me that I was a person of color. What's a person of color? I didn't know what that was. They
Uh-huh.
taught me the term queer, trans. What are we building? What is power? They taught me power, and I
Okay.
became addicted. Politics is addictive.
Yeah.
So that is how that was my entryway into it. And so that's why I still do communications, because that when I realized how powerful both sides were, that we could give people the information through communications, but that we could actually impact what people think and do through the policy. Oh, it's a powerful combination.
Mm. Mm. And so this was happening. You gave a timeline like around for your life. When, in terms of the body politic, was this happening? What was happening nationally? Who
Yeah,
was in
Bush.
charge? All of the things. Bush. Which one?
Bush was the president. The second.
Okay, I'm old girl. I gotta ask these questions, and black don't
Okay, so do
crack.
you
So
want
you know what I'm saying?
it was the second, Cheney, and they recruited me to DC to come work at USSA.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my senior year of college, I had brain surgery,
Mm.
and I was sick as a dog, and
What was going on? You had an aneurysm or something? What happened?
I had this thing that was called a pseudotumor. And so what happened is I was in my finals. It was like right after Thanksgiving. I started having these bad headaches.
Uh huh.
And I'm going into the doctor. I can't figure out what it is. And slowly I go blind. I go blind senior year of college. So I end up in the hospital, and I keep saying, like, my eye. And they find out you've got this condition. You need to have emergency brain surgery. So I have emergency
Oh my
brain
lord.
surgery week before Christmas. Poor
This is your
mother.
senior year you're talking about?
Yes, of college. It was a mess. So I have
Jesus.
brain surgery, and you know, I make it, and it's probably because I was 21 when I had it. So I made it, and I said to myself, if I recover, I have to make sure that people have what I have. Like I didn't want for anything. My mom had health care. I was completely taken care of, for
Mm,
months, rehabilitating. My people didn't give up on me. So
mm,
when I finally rehabilitated, which was over the summer, I got sick in December. I'm better by I'm better-ish by April, May. And the organization is like, we don't care that you had brain surgery. We want you to come to DC.
mm,
We still want you.
mm.
And so I hurried my ass up and I said, I got to get out of school because I want to go to DC. I want to defeat
Wow.
Bush. And who was running against Obama at the time? I can't even remember. But
Uh, what's his name? He did.
who
McCain.
was it? McCain. Okay, so that was 2007. I had brain surgery in 2006. That summer, I said, I don't care. I don't care. I was bald. I don't care. I'm moving to DC.
Mm,
So I moved to DC that August and 2007. And yeah, Bush was the president. And
wow.
we ran a campaign and we got a bunch of thousands of students all across the country to vote and to participate. And Obama became the president of the United States. And that was life changing, which is why I know that politics is life changing. And we have to make sure that there's power for the people because it's not just about the stoplight. It's not even
Mm-hmm,
about the politicians. It's
mm-hmm,
about the stuff like you just had brain surgery and somebody in your family has the health insurance to be able to take care of you. It's connected back to politics. And people on the news and in DC, they make it so hard to understand. But when it became my life, like healthcare for me was not a fringe issue. I just want, Affordable Care Act. I needed healthcare because I had brain surgery when I was 21 years old and I
mm,
lived to tell the story.
mm. Yeah, that is mad different. That is a mad different entry, right? Like, why? What are we gonna do? How do we get these motherfuckers to pay attention and not have to have lost somebody
I know.
to mask up? What do we got to do?
For me, and I think there's a couple of strategies. One is I do believe that our communities are smart and I believe that we understand what's happening, but the news is cloudy. And sometimes people say things here, sometimes people say things here. People like us that have the microphone, we got to
Mm,
slip it in. Like you slipped it in just now so that we can remind people that there's 182,000 people who have passed away from coronavirus and that should not be.
so far,
But
so
yeah,
far.
so far we were supposed to be 20,000 and now we're at almost 200,000 people in
Yeah.
less than a year. So one, I think that it's people like us that have a platform got to talk about it in a real way. And then I think second is a lot of it is one-on-one communication with. When I used to work in labor, I worked with a lot of Republicans, and I used to work on I used to work on racial justice and criminal justice in a union.
Oh Lord.
And yeah, and I'd have to like talk to people about what is the definition of racism, which is fine. I know.
Mm,
But I learned through those conversations, if I take the 5 minutes to not cuss you out like I want to, but to really work this issue through with you, one breakthrough to me is worth 1,000.
mm.
It's worth 1,000. So for me, when I'm with you so that I don't play with my phone and on another computer. I'm with you because if we're trying to have a breakthrough, what I think needs to happen in order to shift politics, there has to actually be millions of one-on-one conversations with folks that are using race, because I do believe this is about race, what's happening with Trump. They're
Mm-hmm,
using
mm-hmm,
race
mm-hmm.
as a tool to confuse people. So you turn wearing a mask into politics. Okay, fam, I'm going to walk you through why that's ridiculous. And then if you don't want to change, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to that's fine. But I have not given up on the fact that some people just have not been met where they're at. And
Yeah.
nobody's tried to move them. We vilify them. And then we say, I'm not messing with you no more. I just don't operate that way.
Thank God for you. You generous. You are so generous. I'm
Sometimes.
serious. I told SB the same shit because it was Crew who got me to not around masks. I'm fucking paranoid. I'm not even having an issue.
Yeah.
Uh, but in terms of re-engaging with the census, and I was talking about this with Bedla as well, right? It was engaging with Crew, and as you're talking about that one-on-one conversation um, that you're talking about, right? And so I, I think one of the things that I keep asking and hoping from folk is that if they do see, hear, gain anything from these times under the philosopher's tree, that it's like it's part of why we ask folks to share it, right? It's listen, you don't want to repeat it, don't repeat it. Don't repeat it. Find a podcast that said it. Send that to whoever it is. Eventually, you got to have the talk, though, right?
That's
That's
right.
yeah. Eventually, you
We
got to
have to
have the
have the
talk.
talk. Yeah, and
Ugh.
I I think that the way that politics works is some people, when you start even say the word politics, they glaze over almost immediately. But when you, and I understand because it's complicated to understand, people have been disappointed deeply by politics and politicians. But I believe that all of us have been through something.
Yeah.
And if I can tap into that thing that you have been through that has been challenging or traumatic, or it's the reason why you got to go to therapy, and I can connect it back to our material condition in this country and in this world, and what we could actually do to make a change, that what you're dealing with is connected back to these raggedy elected officials, then I've got you. And I think I'm not trying to be, I'm not even trying to exaggerate, because I did almost die. um, I believe in second chances in every regard. And if you decide not to take your second chance at life, if I give you a second chance and you piss it away, fine. But with me, you're always going to get a second chance. And then, I hope that you move my way. And if not, that's okay.
As you're having those conversations with folks, as you're looking for that second chance for folks, how do you bring somebody from the far left to where you are, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a different conversation, yeah. And I'm saying this as somebody who, for a very long time, with my political platform, would say, listen, I don't really, vote for not this person. And so if this is the other person running, fine, I'll be here to talk about them. My face is here. You've seen it. Now here comes some songs. And that'll be,
Yep.
the end of what that support looks like for me for a very long time.
Yeah.
I had tried, did the internships on Capitol Hill. And after that, for me, it was after Clinton, honestly. It was after Clinton in Reno, after Waco. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. What are we doing? What are we doing? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Democrat,
Yeah.
Republican, they don't give a fuck. They're gonna bomb Palestine. They're gonna find some group of citizens to blow the shit out of, and if they don't want to pay their taxes, it's gonna be some white ones too. So how
Yeah.
do you bring somebody from that position along to
Yeah.
where you're talking about?
And just know, most of my friends are that, right? Like, I am very much, I and I actually think there's a huge part of me that is that way too. Sometimes I look at, I lived in DC, Bush, Obama, Trump, you know, sometimes I just throw up my hands. But I also, I will never try to convince someone to vote because of a candidate. That's hugely disappointing.
Mm.
Um, but and I do love some candidates. You know, I told you I like Elizabeth Warren, but I think that it's a missed opportunity for us. We can't sit it out. What? There's too many things that happen to us because of something that some, lonely ass white man is sitting up in his ivory tower thinking he has too much control over my daily life.
Mm.
And I will be damned if I allow for that to happen. And I'll be damned for us. This last week, I spent my whole week with the movement for Black Lives, talking about abolition, Black queer feminism, ending patriarchal violence, freeing the land, diasporic liberation. If that's what you believe, and I believe in those things too, I say abolish prisons, abolish the police, defund it all. I don't care. But I recognize that one, change takes time. Black people fought and rebelled for hundreds of years for us to get free. Healthcare reform started with Eisenhower. Oh my God, we did not pass that until the mid 2000s. So I'm not saying that change cannot happen, but at no point in our history has giving up on any process gotten us closer to freedom. If anything, the reason why we love people like Nelson Mandela is because of the sacrifices that they were able to make to get to freedom, to get to liberation, to get voting is for me is like I think about my trans family. When 10 years ago, folk weren't talking, trans folks existed, right? But like we were not fighting the way that we do right now to ensure that trans folks are seen and have equal representation under the law. And so to me, that could not have happened if they said F it. And so that for me is my North Star because I see past the candidate. I'm like, if you want abolition, Carmen, then you got to play the game. And when they come sniffing, I hold them accountable. So that's why, I'll DJ at your presidential debate, but turn around and ask me a question. I got real questions for Kamala Harris about her record because I am an abolitionist and you believe in locking people up. But it doesn't mean that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are not a better choice than Donald Trump. You will never get me to say that. Never, not one day. Because at least we can talk to Biden and Kamala. We cannot deal with the Cheeto.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would hope that people would add to that the understanding and the knowledge that even if you got suckered into the propaganda around Clinton last time around. And I will admit that I did, and it was easy to bring me along because fuck her husband. You know what I mean? Did 8 years under that motherfucker, and you still married with this fake ass marriage and all this bullshit. Clear with your gay ass. I don't know what the fuck going on with this. It's too much. It's too much. So that for me was a lot. Because if you can't get, not because I give a fuck, I do not. Right. Y'all want to have whatever kind of Will and Jada situation? Fuck it. Great. Do you, so girl. Fair. But come to the red table. Let some niggas know what's going on.
Right. Yes, come to the red table.
Be honest. Absolutely. Be honest. Right. Just say it. So because it matters for representation. 2, let us know that you're not lying anymore and that you know what the fuck is. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us something, because it's real easy to believe that you space people or that there's bodies in a creek someplace. And unfortunately, if I fall for that dumb shit, and I do not think I'm some dumb bunny, then it's very easy for some very dumb white bunny to believe she gonna have some babies up under a Pizza Hut or some shit, whatever the fuck. Crazy ass shit they be thinking
but
of.
You said it. The thing I feel like that happens to a lot of us is at some point we believed, then the process got demystified or the candidate got demystified. And we're like, you poop too. So you need to go on somewhere with that. And I agree with that wholeheartedly, which is why you will very rarely hear me standing real hard for a candidate. But with 182,000 people gone, and a good chunk of that are Black people, and
Yeah.
knowing that they're going to come out with a vaccine and that the majority of our people are going to not take the vaccine, not wear a mask, maybe not engage in the political process that we need to, I need to make sure that we have political power, because if these people get in office, we will for sure have to hold them accountable. If
Yeah.
we believe in abolitionism, if we believe in defunding the police, then we will at least have to have a relationship with them so we can talk to them. Because if you don't have a relationship with them and you are, and that's not just them, that's every politician. You need
Yeah.
to, that's why like when you buy shares in a company, why that's so important, because you need to have a stake in that company in order to go to the meeting to cuss them out. And I always want to have a seat at the table because I'm going to always keep it 100. And I'm going to look like this. I'm going to look unassuming. I'm going to have on my nice designer glasses and my good Black girl dress. And I'm going to cuss you out because people are out there dying.
Yeah.
For real.
For real. For real. For real. For real.
I didn't know you worked in D.C.
I did a little bit in DC. I worked at Capitol Hill in Denver as well. But this is politically a generation just before. So before, when he was still governor and had him some red hair still, and was running against Brown. He had a little bit of red. He had a little bit of red on the side still. It was gray on top, and I only know that because I met him, right? And Governor Brown was running against him, and so Clinton was out there like that, and I had to meet Governor Brown, and he had said some fucked up shit to Jerry, who was the woman from La Raza, the Latin American Research and Service Agency I was coming in with, to sit down and ask some questions and see if we could, who they were gonna be able to give their backing to. And this motherfucker said some shit about somebody being cute or something. And she walked up out of there so fast. And I was sitting there looking around like, well, I think, sir, that I can tell you that personally, you're my person. Also, can't imagine that you're going to be getting that endorsement.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
just had to walk
Totally
out.
appropriate.
And this is like pre pagers and cell phones. So I just had to walk out to the parking lot and find Jerry out there and be like, well, this is what I said.
Yeah, because that was wild.
Oh,
But
oh
that's
no,
also
I
how
lost
DC is.
I lost sound on you. Hold on, we're gonna figure this out. What had
Can you hear
happened?
me?
No, that's on my side. You know what's gonna happen?
Oh, okay.
I am not sure we are gonna fix this app. You know what? We're gonna edit this all out. It's fine. It's
Okay.
not even an issue.
Because I got my
It's
tambourine.
not even an issue. Come on, hurry. Try to kill time. Okay,
I
so
got my
what I'm
tambourine.
seeing is a situation where they're telling me that at least on sound, it says that folks can hear you. The
Oh,
unfortunate reality is that I cannot. So I don't know what.
what we gonna do?
Oh, I got you now. I got you.
Hey,
You asked what we gonna do. You asked what we
what
gonna
we
do.
gonna
I'm
do?
sitting there looking at the readouts like, well, the electronics say that we're both having a conversation.
Right, they do. I was looking at them too.
Yeah. I saw you with your tambourine. I was like, okay, she checking, she doing all the things.
I was trying to help. I could feel time.
I saw you. I saw you. Professionals had it. Professionals had it. We got y'all. Don't worry. Uh, I think you were saying a thing. I don't even know. Oh, you had said one thing I had a question about. You said
Yep.
F it. I assume you mean fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure. That was the one clarifying question I had about what you were saying there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
All right. So, what are you up to now with fuck? We can talk about work stuff in a second. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Um, How are you living? You okay? How you doing?
I'm an extrovert, so there's only so much Zoom I can even do just because it's a lot of technology, and I want to go outside
Whatever
so
do you mean?
bad.
I'm not sweating for any reason. That was fine. That was great.
Like it's a lot. But I feel blessed because my husband, Lee sings R&B. He's just amazing. He's made this ridiculous situation 100% better. He's funny. He sings. He produces. So I love him. My family, I feel like I've gotten closer to them because we got to talk basically every other day at the time. And then my job is awesome. So I struggle because I want to be out. Like I'm naturally gravitated towards being outside. I've been traveling for 15 years. So this is the longest I've ever been. I have been home in decades. But I think I'm learning who I am. And I also am very clear that there are some people, I don't think I want them in my life anymore. They're not good energy. And so that would not have happened without us sitting here and having more clarity.
Are you finding that in workspaces, personal spaces? What do you mean? Some people who's like,
I think it's
where is
both.
that?
I think it's
Uh huh.
both because when you only have, for me, I have so many hours a day that first, I spend the majority of my time working, right? So if I'm working with you and I'm not feeling you, that's not for me because I have to look at you on Zoom for many
Yeah.
hours. Can't do it. And then I think in my personal life, I have a hard time saying no. And I realized that there were people that were asking me for things in my personal and my professional life. And I could have and I should have been saying no or I can't. And I don't. And it's probably like the disease to please. I don't know, something that Oprah has said, I'm sure. But
Right.
I've just had to be more honest with myself that I do have to stop working at a certain time. Everybody's energy is not good for me. I'm a Cancer, so I'm very much ruled by my emotions and the moon. I be crying and hemming and hawing. But that clarity, I will forever be grateful for being a sheltering in place because I would not have gotten there. I was moving too fast before, and now
Yeah.
I'm moving just snail's pace. I still get
Yeah.
shit done, but.
Yeah. 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 No, I mean that is really different. I mean the idea of saying no, uh, and saying it clearly and fiercely
Yeah,
is definitely a new one for me.
yeah.
Definitely a new one for me. And yes, people have been reaching out, especially right now, around, oh, let's talk about race and gender and anti-blackness and black. And I'll be looking up at the, like, okay, well, great. Show me who all is there on your staff. And this ain't nothing but white people. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
because that's
don't
a lot of
know.
energy all day. Mm-mm.
And I don't
It's a
know if
lot.
that's what I do.
Mm-mm. Oh,
How
that's
will
definitely
I,
not me.
how am I going to elevate black women in a place where there aren't any? I don't know if you
Hello.
have the range for what
Mhm.
what I'm serving. So, that definitely has been healing, right? And very fortunate to be in that kind of a circumstance.
Me too. I
Yes.
used to do some of the racial equity work when I worked in labor, and I realized that I'm not the right one. You need a certain type of temperament. You need for someone to say things racist to you and not react. It's not me. And actually, at my current job, um, I love my people because
Yeah.
none of us can actually take it. And we tell people before you even try to work with Dancing Hearts Consulting, we do black people shit. Okay? We got black partners, black kids, black mamas, black parent, like everything about us is black. And if you have issues taking leadership from a black woman, a queer person, trans person, please don't work with us because we're going to tell you the time. And if it comes down to the racial equity, we're not here to train you on racial equity. You need to get it together. In a land where black people are still being murdered, get it together.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, it's about systems. It's about systems. I keep hearing, the thing I'm so tired of is hearing about, where these white people think that racism lives, right? That it's in their bones or their blood or their hair or their teeth or wherever it is that they think it is. Like somehow we just gonna get it out of them. It's like, no, we're just gonna do some behavioral modification, and if
No.
you are willing to shift, then great, and if not,
They,
then leave.
yeah, they don't. I don't know. There's a class of people that and it's connected back to power and it's connected back to politics. That
Yeah,
fear that if we let these Negroes run around, they're just gonna change our country. Here's the gag, boo. The country already changed. That's the
yeah.
gag. And all these systems that you've created to tear us apart and shut us down, we learn them, we study them, and we are going to unravel them one by one. And that for me is that is why I work in politics, because I love to undo the white supremacy. It's my favorite thing to do.
Don't it feel good?
Woo!
Don't it feel good?
Let me get my mouth for day Satan tambourine.
Right? Wish I had a biscuit to sop it up every time I see a white man get upset with me. I'm like, ooh, Lord, go ahead. Go ahead. That's
Work out with
delicious.
that. Yeah, I can't with that. No.
Uh yeah, no, I can deal with that. I don't mind. And that's part of the thing, right? That's why I appreciate knowing and having crew at so many different levels. Because when you was talking about working with Republicans, my Lord, I almost got hives. That's not gonna happen. I can't do it. I can't do
It
it.
was
But if you can do it, you should do it because I'll
you
go
you
and get
should.
this white lady fired. It ain't even a thing. I'll go. I'll deal with that. I got that
No.
equity
But
training all day.
somebody has to talk to them because I have watched people have breakthroughs and I know that I'm not the right person anymore to do that work,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but I believe in my heart that most people have someone close to them that if they tap into that heart space, they can break them open. But it ain't me no more.
Yeah, no, not like that. Not like that. I mean, I think I've pretty much, with all of the career choices I've made over the last year, ensured that that ain't really, people gonna make
Right.
some choices. Like, yeah, you can go look at the things I say. They're very available, and you can
Mhm.
figure out if that's what you want.
Yeah, you can like even go to the African American Smithsonian website and probably learn about it. Like it's available.
Listen, get into it. Get into it. Good, good, good. So you taking care of yourself though, like just on the regular now that you are shut in away from people. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, well, I so I work out with my I mean I'm it's funny because I work out with my trainer 3 days a week and I thought I
Okay.
was gonna stop being fat, but whatever. But we work out outside and that's my healing space with my trainer Antoine, um, because he pushes mind and my body and my soul.
Mm,
And I still do my music. I mean, I told you so blessed that my husband is a musician. And so
yes.
sometimes we will sing gospel, even though we're both heathens, and we will sing, Evita, and that's my heart base because we are creating and we are making something. And then the other thing that I do that brings me complete joy is I still DJ. And I thought that DJing was going to be done for me when coronavirus happened. And my friend Joteka Edie asked me to DJ her brunch on Zoom. And I learned how to do it pretty early in coronavirus. And
Mm.
so I still DJ for parties and events and politicians and trivia nights at churches. And it's the thing that reminds me that it's all going to be okay. And that maybe the thing that's going to heal us is the culture. My friend Jessica Tully says that the culture, right, is going to heal us, and I'm enjoying that ride.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Actually, do have a question from somebody under the tree, someone we both know well. Esperanza,
My favorite.
who has only flaked on being on the show twice. I told you I was going to give you shit about that. She's rescheduled. You rescheduled, boo. I
Okay,
love you.
she's becoming a champion of the horses.
I know she is. This is a beautiful thing. E wants to know what the most hood jam on the mix right now. Let a DJ school us.
Um, Well, right now I love My Type by Saweetie. I love Big Booty by Gucci Mane and Meg Thee Stallion. And my other fave is Girls in the Hood because it uses that ding 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 ding. I know you are like, what the hell is that? It's a throwback song.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
I
know what
believe,
you're talking about.
yeah, yeah, I think it's from NWA, but it's like Girls in the Hood is always hard. I only
Yeah,
listen to the most trappiest music when I'm working out because that's the type of beats per minute that I like in my life. And then
yeah.
I come to work and I act like I have a job.
Right. Well, Big Glasses Brigade. This is how we let people know we're professionals.
Exactly. This is my I am Clark Kent.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I take these off. It's like, nah, you can see that. You can see
Okay.
old me. You don't need to. Just we'll
Trigger.
just
But
get
yes,
up in
with the
here.
glasses on, I'm Sophista Ratchet. So
That says yes, yes. Ooh, Sophista Ratchet, girl. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's definitely and verify that is definitely NWA. The boy in the blue are always hard.
Oh, wait up.
And
Oh.
yeah, that was
Makes you put your arm up, it's the right song.
immediately,
Oh.
immediately. What? Wait! Oh shit!
Right.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
That's how
excellent.
California Love does, y'all on the West Coast. California. Y'all be like, hey,
Rum, boom, boom,
let's get
boom,
the
boom.
song out. Right. Soon as that
Yeah,
beat drops. That's why music is it's going to be the thing that gets me through the coronavirus because when I hear my stuff, I'm hand up. Mm.
excellent, excellent, excellent. So now you are at day job at Dancing Hearts. What does that mean? What does that look like? What are you doing?
Ah, I hope in
What aren't you
everyone's
doing?
lifetime. What aren't I doing? I hope in everyone's lifetime they get to work with their own people and not just. I mean, I work with Black people, but I just work with my people. Sometimes I don't even have to finish my sentence and they understand what I'm talking about. And I love that. So I'm the chief strategy officer. Esperanza let me have a really nice title. I really appreciated it. But we, we do a couple things. One is we help amplify um, women of color that are in positions of power in whatever way they need our support. So it could be the coaching work, it could be helping them analyze their strategic plan or creating a strategic plan for them and building programs for them and with them so that they can build power in this country and strengthen the democracy. And I love it.
Mm.
We plan incredible events for BIPOC groups or Black, Indigenous, people of color groups that have soul and spirit and they're smart and they're lit. And the last event that I did, we had Manny Fresh come through, and I was like, Carmen, Berkley.
Hey,
And then, the last thing that we do is we run and build campaigns.
come on now.
So this cup that I have is from the We Count Oregon campaign. And Esperanza are just amazing BIPOC team out in Oregon. They help run that census campaign out there and make sure that our folk get counted. And I'm proud of the campaign work around abortion access, around census access, because that is closer to our liberation and what gets us free.
Mm.
And I get to do it with my own people. And so when I struggle, if I have a struggle moment with somebody on my staff, I'm struggling with me. And I
Yeah,
don't ever feel like, oh, well, this person said this because I'm Black. No, they said that because they're my peer. And we fight in peers. We're not fighting as you think you're better than me because I'm a Black woman.
yeah.
Or because of my politics. So it's the bomb, and we got an East Coast crew, we got a West Coast crew out in Oregon, couple people in Cali, but it's a joy. I used to wake up from my old jobs and be like, ooh, look,
Mm.
I don't feel that way. I might have a client that makes me feel like, ooh, but not my job.
Okay.
I get power from my job. So that's what I do all day and night
Ashe.
sometimes.
And night sometime, even when you're not supposed to be, maybe sometime, maybe
Exactly.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the truth.
good, good,
Some-
good. And so we have what till September 30th for folks to get the census in. Is that right? Do I remember
Yes,
that correctly?
and I believe so. But the government be changing the rules, so this is what I would say: just do it now. It's
Mm.
September 1st. What are you waiting for? Because I mean, this. It's all connected. It's connected back to money. It's connected back to elected officials. It's connected back to our political power. And in a place like Oregon, where, because I live on the East Coast, I didn't know that there were Black people in Oregon and Washington State. And y'all was the first ones I really met, and my friend Irene. And there's a lot of us
There are quite a
everywhere.
few. Yeah, 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 yeah.
A lot of us everywhere. So
We be
you're
everywhere.
literally giving up on us if you don't put in the information, because the money comes back to our communities. And in y'all state, in Oregon, it's Black people and Asian folks and Latinx folks and indigenous Native American folks that run the campaign. So if for nothing, do it so that we can be successful and so that we can win.
Come on now. Come on now. All we could ask is that. All we could ask is that. And here's the other thing that I don't get about and I get aware of the fact that people can hear me as I get ready to say it because I'm gonna go off because I'm gonna. But about these people who get on this thing about not voting, not filling out the census, as though you are committing some act of political advancement for anybody by not participating in some shit to take you all of 10 minutes in each aspect,
Not even that. I feel like it depends on how many people are in your house. It might take 1 minute, like it's easy.
right? Right? I mean, the shit go mad quick. And then in terms of the voting, the fuck is wrong with you? Just put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, put it back in the mail as soon as you get it. The second it comes. When we get done with this, go to my what is it, my census 2020 and fucking fill out the census now. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's not. But I think we have to make a pitch, and I think we have to pitch to people why. The fact that we even have vote by mail is a miracle. It's a miracle that you don't
Right.
actually have to do anything but somehow find a mailbox and make sure that your community has the things that it needs. Wow,
Motherfucker, stick
praise
it on
God.
the outside of your own mailbox and stick the flag up.
They're
You
gonna
don't got
stick
to
it
do
up.
shit.
Wait,
Put it up.
are
If
you
you live in an
all
apartment, put it down in the building.
are you all vote by mail in Oregon?
Yes, every place I've lived is vote by mail. So Oregon, Colorado, California, all vote by mail. Yeah, so
So
I've
this
been
is
I've been
newer for
very
us on the
lucky.
East Coast. Like it's this is a new phenomenon. And I would
It's the shit.
I would say, of course it is. And I would say for people on the West Coast, you all are always a little bit more advanced than us. Y'all got weed before us, okay? You've got, a little bit of electoral power. You all have that whole work-life balance thing figured out. For me, you all have been the model that the East Coast is trying to follow.
Mm,
So, because we know that the president and his minions are trying to take it away from us, if for nothing, be petty. Be
yeah,
petty and prove them wrong.
yeah.
They think that they're going to take things away from us. And why should we let white supremacy win?
Come on
Mm-mm.
now. And you could just be. I mean, he don't want you to vote. That's enough. Fuck him.
Yeah, he said it. He said that.
Fuck him. He don't want
If
you.
you
Something he
can't
don't
vote by
want.
mail,
This is something you don't. He don't want you to do. Do that.
don't
That's enough reason.
don't do that.
That's enough reason. I don't understand what's wrong with these people.
We got to bring them along. We're gonna get them though. We're gonna get them. The fact that we even talked about this, but yeah, folks in Oregon, if they're in Oregon, they can go to WeCountOregon, probably.org. It's my cut that I got from Esperanza. And then if not, yeah, 2020 census. Look that ish up. And you got until the end of the month. What else are you doing? You got 2 minutes. Shoot, if I got 2 minutes, they got 2 minutes.
Listen. I barely got a minute and a half. Barely got a minute and a half. Well, you, as I know, as you have illustrated quite clearly, have 8,000 things going on. And I am also aware, as I was made aware by some of our other East Coast friends, that whenever we do this, We are now cutting into your evening time, and so I am going to thank you so much for spending some time. And where can these people find you on the socials? Where can folks
Yeah.
see what's going on
I'm
with you?
Carmen Spindy. I am Carmen Spindiego, like Carmen San Diego, but with a spin. You get it.
Ah, I see what you
Everything.
did there.
I know people don't be getting it. I'm Carmen Spindiego on Twitter, Instagram, and I think don't follow me on Facebook. That's not a good place to find me. Come to the gram and you can see me being funny. Come to Twitter and I'm probably being sarcastic.
I love it. I love it. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me. This has been so
Yeah.
much fun. Usually I interview people, so this was a great exercise for me to. I'm taking your leadership, so thank you.
Oh no. Well, and I think interview is we're flying fast and loose with that term, but we both said words. We both said words.
Have a
All
good
right.
day.
Thank you so much, love. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody. That was Carmen Spindiego. She really had shit to do for real too. She did like the some of the other guests and bounced. Sometime we get to hang after. She not hanging after. Um, do though check out the work that is happening with the people. That is at We Count Oregon, and get up on your census. Please get ready and get up on your election. These motherfuckers don't want you out there in these streets. They do not want you out there in these streets in terms of the protests. Please stay out here for the protests for Black Lives. In those cities where Trump and the Klan are actually instigating our murders, I might suggest black people, this might be our time to stay the fuck home for a minute. I don't know. I don't know that we need to be the martyrs anymore. I think we pretty much have that covered. I don't think we need any more. I don't think we need any more T-shirts or murals on the walls. I think we have many of them, and so just stay home. Stay home. If the Klan happens to be invading your town, that could be a strategy as well. Or make sure that the white people are on the front line. This has been another thrilling episode of Smoke and Mirrors. Hey, do me a favor. Would you share it around and tell a friend? That's the best thing you could do. You've been under the philosopher's tree. And under the tree, we like to pass the J. Another thing that you could do is you could become a patron of the arts and a patron of Smoke and Mirrors at Patreon Smoke and Mirrors CCB, the way that Ruthie, Erica, Amber, Aaron, Seth, Lisa, Kristen, Renice, Michael, Natalie, Juliet, Tarika, Tracy already have. If you would like to join them and become one of the first 20, meaning there are only 7 more people who can, you too, as do our guests, can hold a Carlos Kareem Wyndham comedy trading card worth the same thing as all of your garbage pail kids today. So go ahead and make sure you get one. If you would like to contribute to the cause and do not feel comfortable making that commitment right now because it is hard to make a commitment in Rona, go ahead and drop 5 on it if you want to. And you can do that at Venmo at Carlos Wyndham. You can do that at Cash App at Godlos, at $CK Wyndham. I'm going to say that one again. Cash App at $CK Wyndham. And you could PayPal /me, CK Wyndham. Please do check out all of the things happening in We Count Oregon. Make sure you do your census. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Wash your filthy, grubby hands. Just stay inside. Wear a mask if you go outside. And I love you. Shout out today to my daughter, who is 11 years old today. Love you, darling, and I will be speaking with you soon. I did get permission to say daughter and she. I did double check, and I'm still not saying her name to you. Okay, I love you. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow.